Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier. Thank you for stopping by. Let's move on to Africa. Some of the women among the thousands still protesting in front of Sudan's military headquarters. That photograph is by Financial Times' David Pillay. And all these photographs of these women, it's been so inspiring, I must say. And it feels like a portal into the 21st century future that Sudan is showing us in front of our eyes. And here are two photographs. David's on one side, and then this photograph of Ala, the lady, 22 years old, who's also probably, that and the gorilla selfie are the most flashed photographs around the world at the moment. And a photo of the past. This is the current head of the military council, who the UAE, Saudi Arabia are desperately trying to keep in position. And they would be wise to think about this fact that this is a portal into the future. African Union gives Sudan Army more time to cede power. Who's in charge of the African Union at the moment? President Sisi, of course, is going to rule forever and ever. The African Union has eased pressure on Sudan's military council to give up power, saying it will give the country's new leaders 3 months to hand over to civilian authorities. Whether that's going to work is a different matter. The military council, led by General Abdel Fattah Burhan, has said it is not greedy for power and intends to hand over authority to a transitional government. The Sudanese Professionals Association, which has spearheaded the demonstrations on Sunday, broke off talks with the military council, accusing it of playing a wicked game. Cairo is not afraid of democratic rule in Sudan, but it would prefer that it did not emerge. It considers those from a military background more trustworthy when it comes to maintaining regional interests. It's not sustainable, that model, not at all. The Egyptian one. Well, Egypt is an exception for now. Her name is Ala Salah. This is the portal into the 21st century I'm talking about. A 22-year-old engineering and architecture student, the same age as my daughter. And in this photograph, she was telling the story of Sudanese women. And to that point about the portal into the future, Antonio Gramsci. The crisis consists precisely in the fact that the old is dying and the new cannot be born. Warning signs for Zambia, those warning signs have been blinking amber for over a year, as Eurobond curve becomes more inverted. Zambia's finance minister said this month there's no need to worry about the government's debt load. Investors are sending the opposite signal. The yield curve for Zambia's Eurobonds, which are the worst performers in emerging markets in the past year, is increasingly inverted, meaning that shorter dated securities have higher yields than those with longer maturities. That's a rarity and often occurs when countries are already in default, with one example being Venezuela. Bonds due in 2022 have climbed almost 500 basis points to 17.45%. The 2027 bonds trade at 15.8%. The inversion is partly because the shorter bonds have a bullet maturity and have to be paid back in one go, while the longer ones amortize, making them less risky. April 2018, I said to Ronak Gopaldas, a big ticket blow-up in any African country might well be the catalyst, and we're about to get one in Zambia. South African all shares up 12.91% so far this year. Dollar versus Rand, I think the Rand's in big trouble, 14.359. Egyptian pound, steady, as I said, 17.1375, worth doing some carry trade on that. Egyptian stock market is up 12.35% so far this year. The Nigerian all shares down 4.27% this year. The Ghana Stock Exchange is down 4.3% this year.